Well, I'm finally ready to do the road, and it's been a long time coming for sure. And what I'm using some interior satin enamel ultra white paint. It's a little bit cream actually, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this surface where the road is. If nothing else, you must admit I'm unorthodox, because I've never seen this done anywhere else before, and I don't even know if it's going to work or not. I'm keeping as close as I can to the cobbles. Just dipping in a little bit at the end. Smells like real paint and all this. It's a proper tin of paint. It's a proper tin of paint. It's not one of these little model things. Just have to be a little bit careful here. You don't want the paint going all over the cobbles, do we? We'll make a right collywobble of it then, won't we? So these cobbles end here, and I'm going to also paint over this side where the station comes out to here. I've cut that back a little bit, so this is a little bit of the road as well, and it's going to come all along there and all along here. I'll splash it on as quick as I can now. Because I'm going to use this as a basis now. Instead of putting glue on, I'm going to use my road. I'm going to use some materials that I've already got. And again, please understand this is totally experimental. It's not the norm, what's happening now. So I'm just going to have to see how it turns out in the end. I'll get all my base stuff on first. And I'm keeping an eye on my worktop as well. I don't want to ruin my desk, do I? Okay, so that's now that. Because this road is going to be, hopefully, a road that is like a stone road. You know what I mean? It's going to be rough stone. And okay, I've got my first coat on there now. I'm hopefully the last coat. So what I'm going to do, what I've got here, I bumped into a man. He said, I've just been doing a little job down the road and I've got a little bit of concrete left over. So I'm going to experiment to see what that looks like. I'm just going to sprinkle. It's actually cement, this. Real cement. And I'm going to see how it looks. Don't look too bad actually. So I just sprinkle it on slowly. I don't know what it's going to be like when it dries. But I'm hoping it's going to look like a road when it's finished. Just going to splash it all over. Keep saying that, don't I? I bet you think I'm a big Henry Cooper fan, don't you? Yeah. And what I've done, I've got a car here to give me the scale. This is a 00 gauge car. So what I do is to put some tracks down there. And what I'm going to use for that is some of this scatter sand. So I'm just going to have to open it up a bit because I need to get in here to pinch this out. So I'm going to sprinkle a little layer down there. If I can do this, I want to have 2 bands. I hope this works. You can see there's a lot of thought gone into it. He lied. And then another layer of this cement in the middle. I'm going to be careful with this now, I don't want to put too much on. And then just check that yes, that's okay, it's going to be fine that. I'm going to get the right distance. I'm sure this will all just drop off afterwards, but I can always spray it with a little bit of watered down PVA glue. It probably set this. The cement will probably set. So now I want another layer of this now. And some of it splashed all over there, hasn't it? So I'm going to have to go back and fill in these bits here. Any bits that I've missed. Or I've gone over. This is supposed to be the dirt track that's falling. How's it looking? Going to be interesting to see when it dries. What I'll do, I'll just tap it off first, see what it looks like. There we go. I don't think it looks too bad. I've got cement on the side of my car now though. I don't want to do that, do I? Somebody will think it's been attacked in the night. So now I've got to finish off this outside now with more Portland cement. Very bumpy this road, but I don't think it matters. I think it's all par for the course. It's where I put the paper mache on. Doesn't matter if it's a bit untidy, does it? I'll go back over with a little bit of this again because I've gone out there. Just fill any bits in. I'm not even bothered if there's a bit of the white showing through either. I've tried to set the camera up so I wouldn't get in the way this time. Okay, that's good. I'm going to go and get the spray bottle next, and I'm going to spray some very fine PVA glue over that. That doesn't look bad, does it? Okay, I've got my spray thing now. Now the problem is, how do I spray it on? I don't want it to be too powerful. I think that should help a little bit. Right, going to wipe off all the surplus now from there, off my cobbles, and I think I can just leave that to set then now, and then we'll take a look at it, what it's like when it's dried. I hope this experiment works. Looks a bit of a mess now, but I'm sure it'll work out in the end. We'll just have to wait and see. Well, this is how it did work out. And I must say, I'm not really very happy with it. So I've got to go for plan B. What I've done, I've got a few positives and negatives here. These are my positives. What I've done, I've cut out 2 channels there, which I can fill with the road for the tracks of the horse-drawn carriages or whatever they had in those days. So for the time being, what I've done, those were the positives, these are the negatives coming out. So what I can do is actually place these in the right position. I will get there eventually. Place those in the right position and I'll measure them out, and what I will do, I will paint glue all the way down here and in the middle and on this side too. I'll set that up with glue, then I'll fill it with cement again. Then I will move them down to the second place like so and do the same. So I'll fill them in with cement. That should leave a nice band of brown worn road. Now if it doesn't work, what I will do, I will put this template on top and I will fill that. I will glue it through that template, and then I'll move it down again, and then I'll fill it with a suitable thing. So we should have 2 straighter bands than that. It just looks too random for me. So that's my next job, and I'll show you what it's like when it's finished. I've just done phase 1. I pinned these things down and I stretched them out, and I put the first layer of cement along those. So underneath those white pieces now should be the brown deeper coloured worn area. So this is the second part I'm going to do. So I've got part 1 done now. I'm going to let that dry and we'll take a look at it. I did finish off the top part, and then I moved the pieces of paper down to the bottom. So let's take a look how those have worked out now. Pull that off, and we'll pull that one off too. That's better. It's got 2 distinctive tracks now. What I'm going to do now is to go over it with a fine tooth brush, as they say, fine tooth comb. I'm going to brush all this away and see what it looks like. I think that's what the end result's going to look something like. I have dusted it down now a little bit, and I put a little glue on there, and I've just gone over it where it's patchy. Believe it or not, I've used nutmeg, so we'll see how that turns out. Look at that, the builder's left a load of blooming roof tiles there, look. All the blooming ridge tiles have been left there. Typical, typical. I did a little bit more gluing up last night, so this is a good way to hold things together, this, using pegs. So I'll just take them off and see how it dried. See, I've started to put the fence up now. Just use bamboo shoots for the, not bamboo shoots, you eat them, bamboo sticks for the posts, and I've just cut those 2 out of balsa wood, those 2 boards, these 2 boards here, and I'm going to have vertical boards like a picket fence like it was in the drawing. I'm going to make those and stick them on after. I've also finished the road off now. Where there were any little gaps, I've just put little bits of glue, and I've put little bushes or grass cover down and stuff like that. So I'm quite pleased with it now. I think it's looking okay. Can start to see now the total ambience of the whole thing, so I'm quite happy with it again. Well, I was going to say you won't believe this, but after what's happened in the past, I think you might just do. We've run over time with this again, so rather than make it a really long video, I've decided to do it on a split again. So this volume 4 now is going to be the next to the last. I promise you, number 5, part 5, I will complete it. However long it takes, if it's an epic 3-hour film, it's going to be completed on episode 5. So episode 4 goes all the way through up until the little fence there, as you see, and I'll be carrying on episode 5, and I promise you I will complete it this time.